Hey guys, Dylan from the Geek Duo here, and today I'll be bringing you my reaction to What If Episode 2. What if T'Challa became Star-Lord? A rough and tumble space pirate known as the Ravengers abduct T'Challa instead of Peter Quill. Now, I'll admit, I wasn't on my best game with reacting to the last episode. Because I wasn't sure what to expect. It followed pretty much the same major beats as Captain America, and I was getting used to the face, like the animation, not the animation, the models for the bodies, because it's nothing like I've ever seen before. But this, from what we've seen in the trailers, this one is going to be completely different than the Guardians of the Galaxy. So it's going to be very interesting to see what this is like. Anyway, let's get this started in 3, 2, 1, go. Yeah. Never gonna skip the intro. Disney produces banger intros for most of the shows on this streaming service, and this is the Marvel intro. Why even bother putting a skip intro into the service? Just had to make sure that subtitles were still on. Should have done that before. Yep. Hang on, did that say... Okay, so... Thanos is in this, and so is Ego. Okay. And of course, Chadwick reprising his role as T'Challa. I think in 3 episodes of this. Interesting. We're actually getting some Watcher exposition in this. Don't bother chucking it on the floor, just... No, wasn't what I was expecting either. So he's a much better Star-Lord than Quill, apparently. It's just awkward. Ow. Ow. Okay, radio. Uh, I don't think those creatures could actually talk in the original movie. Aren't you just a space Robin Hood? Does explain why he'd be more renowned then. It's true. Oops. It's a much better pitch than Peter got. Have we seen this planet before? Thanos, what? So is Thanos a Ravager? Drax? What the hell is going on? Drax is a bartender. Nebula has blonde hair. Thanos is at a bar gardening. Something like that. Mm. Mm. I'm pretty sure you're involved. It was radio. So it's a heist episode. Okay. It's even got the heist music. Hmm. You had to insult her. Oh. I think that's more than he spoke in the movies. His collection's a lot bigger than it was in the movies. Uh, he, it's Cosmo. I didn't mean to do the accent. Dark Elf? Hey, Howard. Just lead the way. Oh, I'm glad Howard's a big part of this. Well, bigger part of this. Ow. You couldn't tell it was the Ravengers from the Gecko? Is that a sovereign ship? They have a Wakandan ship there. Cool. There's a lot more missable details in this than in the first episode. Dora Milaje necklaces? Well, mannequins. They were looking for him. Yeah, that's not surprising. All heists involve a double cross. Why do I have a feeling that Howard's going to break them out? Ow. Well, now he's got an Earthling in his collection. No, he's not Superman. Yeah, and there's the double cross. Yeah, you're not very good against telekinesis, are you? I am glad they gave more of power in the MCU as opposed to just being a master manipulator. You know, if you want to create a distraction, ow, start opening cages. Why do you have a rock gauntlet? Oh, is that Korg? That's Captain America's shield, Thor's hammer, Hela's helmet. Okay, so that's where we get its official name from. Taser face. Ow. Mad. Okay, that one was obvious. What do you mean he'd never take him himself? I have a feeling he'd be a match for Black Dwarf. Ow. Broke the Necro sword. There we go. So they called him Black Dwarf in this, rather than Cull Obsidian. Well, that's a brutal way to go. Because Black Dwarf was his comic name, if I'm not mistaken. Ow. Is that their version of Get Help? Was that a punch to the throat? Hehe. No. No, she's gonna be sadistic. Well, that's very much like his brother. Yeah, that reminded me of the Grand Master at the end of Ragnarok. So those two, hey, they saved Cosmo. So I wonder where Rocket, Groot, and Gamora were, or are in this timeline. Is that Peter and... Yeah. Yeah. works at a Dairy Queen. Fair enough. That was dedicated to our friend, our inspiration, and our hero, Chadwick Boseman. I had a feeling there'd be something like that in this episode. And that was a good episode. It was a lot better than the first one. There's a lot of background details that I would love to sit here and try and figure out for myself, but I'm probably just going to wait till New Rockstars puts out their Easter egg breakdown. Because, well, I noticed a lot of things, but I don't think I noticed everything. Okay. Again, there's no end credit scene. So, yeah, that was a lot of fun to watch. Just the dynamic between all the Ravagers, the fact that T'Challa was able to just talk Thanos out of his plan. Rightio then. That's not something I ever thought would happen. They put this whole thing was just a glorified excuse to do a heist episode, because there's not really any Marvel movie that can really do a heist for long. Like, sure, you could probably put Guardians in a heist for a little, but you can't make a whole movie centered around them doing a heist. So I wasn't expecting Nebula to be the way she was. I'm going to pause this and see how many of the voices were the original voices and how many were new ones. So I'll be back in a second. Okay, I've gone through and there are 4 additional voices that aren't the original voices. So the Watcher, T'Challa, Nebula, Yondu, Korath, T'Chaka, Thanos, the Collector, Ego, Kraglin, Taserface, Howard, Okoye, Karina, Proxima Midnight, and Ebony Moore, they're all voiced by their original actors or actresses. Drax? No, of course, Dave Bautista is not in good terms with Marvel, so it's not a surprise he didn't come back. And he's voiced by Fred Tatasciore. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but he does a lot of animated character voices. I know him most recently from The Owl House as Malphus. Corvus Glaive, he's voiced by the same person. T'Challa Young was voiced by Maddox Robinson, and I have a feeling that's because his original actor got a little too old to be doing the voice. Now, Peter Quill, voiced by Brian T. Delaney, who apparently does a lot of video game voices. I don't really recognize any of the games, but I'm sure there's 1 or 2 in his list that I've played. But it's interesting that Chris Pratt didn't come back. I don't know if he's going to be back for other episodes and just had a scheduling conflict for this one. Maybe with Tomorrow War or something, but yeah, it's a surprise that he didn't come back. And I don't think the female Ravager has been in any of the movies, so obviously her voice actress is not the same as it was in the movies because she didn't exist in the movies. But yes, that was a very interesting episode. And even from what we got from the trailers, this was not what I was expecting. Sure, I was expecting a more lighthearted episode because that's what the Guardians and Ravengers are all about. I was expecting to see the better relationship between Yondu and T'Challa as opposed to Yondu and Peter, and that was made obvious in the trailer. But yeah, everything else I had no idea about. Oh, we also knew about the fight against the Collector, but yeah, that was had no idea the context for that. I also knew about Heist Nebula from the toy leaks, but had no idea that it was this episode that she was in. Yeah, I thought that she'd be in maybe some future episode. Maybe she's trying. I was actually expecting her to be in the one with daughter of Thanos, Gamora, but that's obviously not the case, so we'll have to see what the nebula's like in that time. Speaking of Gamora, where was she? Where was Rocket? Where was Groot? Like, I know they obviously didn't form the Guardians, but we got Drax working bar because he had his wife and daughter saved, so he just didn't go on his quest for vengeance, end up in the Space Guantanamo. I forget the name of the prison, but yeah, so we got him back, but we didn't get any. Like, you'd think Gamora would be sort of in the same position as Nebula now that her father's no longer Captain Genocide, but interesting. Rocket and Groot are probably still out bounty hunting, to be honest, so that probably explains where they are. Or maybe they were in the Collector's vault and we just didn't see them. Anyway, I very much enjoyed this episode, a lot more than the last one, and this is very promising for the future episodes. And with that being said, I'll catch you in the next one.